Cheers and how do you do, buckaroos? How the heck are you? Oh, mercy, Percy. So, hey, I'm Tom today. I'm Tom the Whiskey Whisperer. So, I've got some Trader Joe's bourbon. Trader Joe's Kentucky bourbon. No, Trader Joe's isn't distilling. It is made by somebody else. Kentucky bourbon, straight whiskey, distilled by Bourbon Square Distilling Company, Louisville, Kentucky. Guess what? That's not a real thing. It is 45%. It is a 90 proof bourbon. So I picked this up because, well, what the hell? You never know. It was only $14.99 a bottle, and part of me wanted to buy 2 bottles, thinking, well, hell, if it's not great at $15, does it really matter? But I did err on the side of caution. But to be honest with you, even though I haven't even tried this yet, I wish I'd have bought 2 bottles, because even if it's not the greatest drinking whiskey, it'd have been fine to make bourbon balls out of next Christmas. And I wish I'd have used that logic at that particular time, but it didn't come to me. So anyways, and trying to find some, I typically don't like to read any reviews before doing anything. Because I don't want to be influenced by somebody else, but to find information, because there is no Trader Joe's distillery, I did have to do some research and found out that this is made by or distilled by Buffalo Trace, but not really. It's actually distilled by Barton 1792. So I did pour some. I've got an ounce and a half in a shot glass here that I'm just going to drink neat. I just decided not to pour it in a neat glass, but I'm not going to do it as a shot. I do have some I'm going to drink on the rocks. So I'm going to do the quick nose here on the glass, but I'm going to do the rocks glass first. And unfortunately, I did read a review on it that gave me more information than I wanted. I wish I would have stopped there, because I just wanted to know who. I only was doing research to find out where it was actually made, and I found out more than I wanted to, because the review I read said it was a very sweet bourbon. So now I have kind of let that get in my head a little bit. And as I get to the nose, it is very sweet on the nose. It's a little mapley, actually, like a maple fudge kind of thing going on. Definitely feel a lot of big sugary caramel, brown sugar. Let me set that down now that I've done that. We're going to drink the rocks so I don't get too much water in there. Well, at first sniff, it's not quite as sweet on the rocks. Yeah, you know what? I mean, again, it's a 45%, 90 proof bourbon. That was only $15. Yeah, in hindsight now, had we not been in a hurry, and if I would have been able had time to think everything through, I probably would have bought 2 bottles for this. Again, if it wasn't the greatest neat drinking whiskey, I could use the bottle to make candies in, or my wife could make, to be more accurate, make candies next holiday season. It could also be used for other things. I mean, you can certainly put it in other cocktails if it's not for neat drinking, especially at $15 a bottle for a 90 proof whiskey. However, I did not. You know, it's not bad. I'm not going to say it's great, but it ain't bad. It's certainly worth $15. I mean, look. It's not harsh to drink. Is it the most nuanced or flavorful? Yeah, I don't know. The review I read did say they thought it was better on the rock, so I'm curious to go back to the neat now to see. But I'm not feeling it as sweet on the rocks as they made it out to be. And typically, if you get to that sweet spot in whiskey when you put it on the rocks, it tends to bring out the sugars right away. So you're going to get some oak. You do feel a little bit of that charred oak. You certainly feel some vanilla, a very sweet caramel, I I'll be honest with you, I'm still getting hints of maple, but you do feel a lot of nice oak in the finish, and it sort of cleans it up a little bit. So I'm gonna finish this rock so I can get to that neat version over there. Because honestly, I didn't feel that rocks as sweet as they made it out to be, so I'm rather curious. Because if you've seen any of my whiskey reviews, you know I'm a little hypersensitive to sweetness. So there's a lot of whiskeys out there that folks don't think are sweet that I've always thought are sweeter. So I was a little concerned. It is definitely sweet. Have I had sweeter bourbons? Yeah, but yeah. But here's the thing: it isn't harsh. They almost refer to it as a dessert bourbon. Yeah, I can kind of see where they're coming from there. Again, it is a bourbon that would be great for cooking purposes. So for that reason, I wish I would have bought a couple bottles at only 15. I would love to soak some wood in this and do some smoking. It'd be gorgeous. I'd make a marinade or a sauce. It'd be great on a brisket. I think I'm going to try about an ounce and toss it in some coffee. Do kind of a backwoods version of an Irish coffee kind of thing. I think would work fine. Yeah, you know what? Is it the most nuanced whiskey to drink neat? Is it the most palatable? Probably not. However, having said all that, it's not exactly unpleasant to drink either. Um, they kind of made it out to be cloyingly sweet, and I'm really not getting that cloyingly sweetness from it. It is sweet, but I don't find it cloyingly sweet. In my personal opinion, however, it may change by the time I get to the shot glass. So we'll see if that changes. Yeah, hell, I mean, I don't know. Again, it was $15 a bottle. Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm really wishing I would have bought two. Hell, bourbons have gone up in price. I mean, hell, Jim Beam is $15 a bottle. It's an 80 proof bourbon. Uh, Black Label JD runs between 20 to 25 now, and it's down to an 80 proof. So for a 90 proof bourbon at $15, yeah, I don't care if it does say Trader Joe's on the label. Yeah, it's worth it. And then I'll be honest with you, I think if people were given this bourbon in blind tastings, it would hold up against some $25 to $30 bourbons if they didn't know what they were drinking. So you got that snob factor going on. People, oh, I'm not going to like this Trader Joe's product. In a blind tasting, I guarantee those same snobs wouldn't know what the hell they were tasting. I guarantee you. The nose is sweet though. I mean, you certainly get a lot of big brown sugar. I'm still feeling a hint of maple, but you get a little bit of that molasses feel. Vanilla. What I'm not getting from this that I personally like from a good bourbon, I do feel some rice spice in it. But what I'm not feeling is enough oak spice, if that makes sense to you. I'm not, Missouri White Oak in particular will give you a lot of spice in the finish. You'll feel that oak. It can give you cinnamon. Some of even give me a little cayenne. Here I'm not feeling, and that would really help this bourbon. To be honest with you, if it had more back end spice, it would kind of clean up that sweetness. And I think that's what makes this kind of feel sweeter than it really is because there's not a lot to stop that sweetness. Then again, I mean, it was $15 a bottle. If would I pay $30 for this bourbon? Absolutely not. The problem here is I bet some people have paid $30 for this bourbon, but it was probably under another label. I guarantee you that they're not making this bourbon specifically for Trader Joe's. It's got another label on it. That somebody's paying $25 to $30 a bottle for it. I guarantee you, because that's the way it is with the Trader Joe's beers. They're charging $7 for the same beer that somebody else is paying $10 for. Anyways, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer tonight. Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor wisdom man. All around good guy. You all have a good one.